Mislim, kako si ti, brate? Nisam te ja vidio. Vidim te na televiziji. Isti kanal. Pričam ono prije prijatelja. Sad. Čak ti je koji? Nisam mogao da uđem u Moros.
Mario sam našao je
Is this framing okay?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm trying because my phone is open on the app. So it's better if we talk.
I have no idea.
Yes, but they don't allow me to.
I'm good, yeah, thank you.
Yes.
What? Not yet, no.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again. I'm going to ask you if you can slowly make your way to your seat. Please do not sit on a seat that does not have your name. There is seating reserved to the left that is for member states. Please, if your name is not on the seat, please do not sit there. We will have to ask you to move.
Ja sam tu prijatelj. Možeš mi zove me prije 5 minuta. Ivice, dragi.
Bodyguarda ovdje.
65 metara na ulicu, a kamo krenuo u svatove, da ne kaže do čega. I evo, prošle.
A dobro, jesam. A, Feodara. Bilo, znači. Gledaj, troške. Gledaj, on je kopija. Elegantno, nijem se, elegantno. I dole do statke se zove radi, po sliki da je bilo. Samo. Gravno se vidjeti. I'll be here. Ja otrčim u dva
Ajde se slikamo, Ardo.
5 do 6 imam avion. Tamo sastavljamo. Kako da odavde mi ovo je bio
It's okay. As long as you don't bump into me, you can be here.
Tom, are you okay?
Yeah.
Alright, because I know somebody's on your sleeve, right?
Be very careful.
Yeah.
Just don't want it to shake, you know.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, right here.
Kada ne govore šta god ne treba se upaziti šta govore jedan dan.
Slika sa najboljim čovjekom. Da zaslužiš, jer tako i je.
To ti govori gdje je rođena od rođaca, jel? Pa roga, on je bolje biti s rođena sad.
Trebali ste sjesti.
Zahvaljujući našoj organizaciji, nalazili smo kao zajednički dio politika i vlada sektor da možemo puno toga uraditi, da imamo jedan cilj, onda možemo doći do tog cilja. Ako smo jedinstveni, kao i ovdje smo još jednom možemo. Nakon rezolucije došli smo do simbola stradanja u Srebrenici, do cvijeta koji je postavljen ovdje će dolaziti milijone ljudi, od tih milijona nekog njih će milijona će doći ovdje da vidi ovaj cvijet, ovdje svi ovdje i to je desilo, jeste situaciji koji je poruka svima, ne samo u Bosni i Hercegovini, ali i u Bosni i Hercegovini u našem regionu, da ovo je jednog naroda već uprkos tome poziv da moramo ići dalje prihvatiti činjenice koje su podnijete danas. Bilo je moment teško, bilo je moment takav da su svi govorili da to neće ići, bilo je moment kada smo ja i Munira i Grada bili izbacivani iz istorija pojedinih između korisnika, a mi smo svi čuli da vraćali mora. Snaga koju ima Bošnjaci je neviđena, zaista sigurno nečega, mislim, učiti, naučiti kako se bori za istinu pravdu, uprkos tom svijetu koji je nepravedan, ali kao ja kažem se koji snagu sa argumentima idete, onda imate napišem se isto.
Ja sam morio, kako se to?
Dobro. Dobro, ja sam došao ranije, meni čovjeka ovo živi.
A gdje je ona ranije svijet?
Gledajte, ovaj cvijet bi bio postavljen vjerovatno vrlo malo pažnje. Kao što sam televizirao, nije bilo toliko bocera iz Srbije, tako da je to tako da su na neki način najveći sponzori i cijeli svijet su odlučili da cijeli svijet je ovdje. Imamo ovu mediju, ne samo iz Bosne i Hercegovine, sve da imamo i preuzmeti ovaj događaj širom svijeta, da je to dobro organizirano i ja se nadam da će oni koji su i dalje podržavaju tu poslu.
Najvrijedniji koji ima, to mora.
Sjedni tu, jedan razredate ekskluziju, svi hoće Ivice, kako ide?
Na seni ondurma yani kaldı da. Telefonu açak yiyor mu? Bir sabah kaldı mı? Ne sosu var?
Morate, već ti. Jesam.
Pa ja, treba. On je neko pa je. Odnosno ja.
Morate. Ej, hajde smo odavde u jednu sluču karmanu, više ni ovdje ne stavi neko isproti. Što? Ne dođe da ja čekam. Niko ima se oči po planina.
Ja sam ovoga Eši, Homeć Vešića. Knjigu moju vam je dao.
Of course. I will be sending you in front of you. Because we need You were wearing some kind of winter
Yes. My friend.
No, I'm just simply Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I can invite everybody to take a step back, we're about to start the ceremony. You have to stand behind the chairs. Thank you very much.
Lì è poco.
Did you get them?
Have her sit. Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be very careful. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, mi
Hello, everyone, excellencies, friends, and especially survivors of the 1995 genocide in Srebrenica and their families. Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Melissa Fleming and I lead communications here at the United Nations. On this cold but beautiful sunny day in November, it is my honor to warmly welcome you to the dedication of the Flower of Srebrenica Memorial. We acknowledge the survivors and the association Mothers of Srebrenica and Zepa. Like many of you, they have traveled a great distance to be with us today. And I would like to express, and we would all at the UN like to express our sincere gratitude to His Excellency, Mr. Zlatko Lagumdzija and the Permanent Mission of Bosnia and Herzegovina for their invaluable support to the Srebrenica genocide and the United Nations outreach program. Dear friends, we will never forget the lives destroyed, the atrocities committed, and the brutality and the cruelty inflicted in 1995. We will never forget the failure of the United Nations and the international community to keep the people of Srebrenica safe. Remembrance and education are our solemn duty to the victims and their families. To remember is to affirm that every victim had the right to live in peace and dignity, to grow old surrounded by loved ones, just to experience love and joy and sadness and hope, everything that makes us human. The memorial to the victims of the 1995 genocide in Srebrenica takes the shape of the flower of Srebrenica. And this flower, which many of you are wearing today, is a symbol. It's a symbol of resilience, and it's a symbol of hope. In this 30th year since the genocide, the flower now takes its place in the United Nations garden. It stands as a solemn reminder of our collective responsibility to prevent such atrocities from ever happening again. It is a permanent expression of our commitment to protect the truth, to uphold the dignity of victims and survivors, and also to strive for peace. I would like to acknowledge and thank the artist and designer of the memorial who is here with us today, Mr. Adin Habib. Could you stand up, please? Thank you, and my gratitude also goes to Mr. Admir Kolak and his team who were responsible for the construction. Could you also stand up? You want to? Thank you. It is now my great honor to invite Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General to the United Nations, to the lectern. Ms. Mohammed will deliver remarks on behalf of Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, who is traveling and is unable to join us today.
Thank you, Melissa. Excellencies, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a profound honor to be with you here today on behalf of the Secretary General to dedicate the Flower of Srebrenica Memorial. 30 years ago, in July 1995, more than 8,000 Bosnian men and women, men and boys, were systematically separated from their families, executed and buried in mass graves. Thousands of women, children, and older persons were forcibly lost. An entire generation was lost. The intention was clear: the elimination of Bosnian Muslims in Srebrenica. Today, we remember and we honor every life taken and every family that has been irreparably damaged. We pay tribute to the survivors whose strength, dignity, and courage carried forward the truth of what happened. To the mothers of Srebrenica, who have faced the perpetrators again and again in courtrooms, who have refused to let the world forget, who have chosen to raise new generations with love rather than hate. You have shown us what justice demands. We also acknowledge a hard truth that must be spoken plainly. The United Nations failed the people of Srebrenica. That is why this memorial stands here, on these grounds, in this garden. It is fitting that the flower of Srebrenica takes root at the United Nations headquarters, a quiet yet powerful and a permanent reminder of the responsibility we bear to those that we fail to protect. The International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia and the International Court of Justice have established beyond question what happened at Srebrenica constituted genocide. These are not matters of opinion or interpretation. They are judicially established facts based on evidence and on the courageous testimony of survivors who lived through the unspeakable horror. We must ensure that the voices of Srebrenica's survivors continue to be heard, countering denial, distortion, and revisionism wherever they emerge. Because denial itself is an assault on humanity itself. It distorts history, dehumanizes our victims, and deepens the divisions that make future atrocities possible. The plea engraved in this memorial reads, "May it never happen again." Yet, as we gather here today, we must confront an uncomfortable reality. We promised never again, yet today that vow is close to being broken in too many places around the world. Violent conflicts, lack of accountability, and digital technologies that amplify hate, misinformation, all make it easier for the specter of genocide to rear its head. History has shown us that genocide is never sudden. There are always warning signs. Dehumanizing language, systematic discrimination, the erosion of protection of vulnerable communities. Srebrenica could have been prevented if those warning signs had been heeded. We cannot afford to ignore them now. Every member state bears a responsibility under the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. Prevention is an obligation that is legal, it is moral, and it is urgent. The flower of Srebrenica planted here today reminds us of what is at stake when warning signs are ignored, when hatred is allowed to flourish unchecked, when we choose indifference over action. It reminds us that we are bound to each other, responsible for protecting the most vulnerable amongst us. We dedicate this memorial in memory of the victims, in solidarity with the survivors and their loved ones, and in the name of our shared humanity. We honor their memory not only with words, but with vigilance, with courage, with prayers, and with an unwavering commitment of prevention. may this flower bloom in our hearts as a testament to the lives that must never be forgotten. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Deputy Secretary General. And I would now like to invite His Excellency, Mr. Denis Bećirović, member of the Presidency of Bosnia and Herzegovina, to deliver remarks.
Respected mothers of Srebrenica, distinguished families of the victims of genocide, excellencies, eminences, ladies and gentlemen, 30 years after the committee genocide against the Bosniaks in the United Nations safe area of Srebrenica, we are unveiling the Srebrenica Flower Monument in the service of truth, justice and prevention of evil in the future. After last year's adoption of the United Nations General Assembly resolution on International Day of Reflection and Commemoration of the 1995 genocide in Srebrenica, we are unveiling a monument to the victims of the genocide at the United Nations headquarters. This is a historic moment for Bosnia and Herzegovina and for the United Nations. After the Second World War, according to final verdicts of United Nations courts, 2 genocides have been committed against the Bosniaks in Bosnia and Herzegovina, in and around Srebrenica, and against the Tutsi in Rwanda. The monuments to the genocides committed in the heart of Europe and the heart of Africa bear witness to the truth, but also warn humanity to never again allow genocide to be repeated. I thank the Secretary General of the United Nations, the General Assembly of the United Nations, and the numerous states that helped the truth about the genocide in Srebrenica to triumph and made it possible for us to open this monument today. I express special respect to the mothers of Srebrenica, who have tirelessly fought for truth and justice for decades. I also express gratitude to all those who in any way helped realize this important project. Ladies and gentlemen, the opening of the monument to the victims of the last genocide in the 20th century is an important message for all of humanity. This monument is a permanent testimony, a warning, and a signpost, a testimony to the genocide committed against the Bosniaks, established by final and legally binding verdicts of United Nations courts. A warning to humanity that such evil and horror must never again happen to anyone. A guide mark to new generations to educate themselves and not allow the spread of ideologies and politics that lead to genocide. The Srebrenica Flower Monument will stand here forever at the UN headquarters. It will forever be a place where every mother, every survivor, but also every righteous person in the world can express their sorrow and respect for the victims. It will forever be a symbol of our collective memory and an eternal warning to humanity. It will forever bear witness to the victory of truth over falsehood. It will forever send a global message that the civilized world will not allow the denial, minimization, or relativization of the genocide committed against the Bosniaks in Srebrenica. Unfortunately, as we mark 30 years since the genocide against Bosniaks, we are facing new threats to Bosnia and Herzegovina. The same great state ideology and politics that caused the aggression against against the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina and the genocide against Bosniaks are once again threatening my homeland. That is why it is important that the United Nations and the democratic world to support the protection of the legal order of Bosnia and Herzegovina, the respect for the judgments of UN courts, the condemnation of war criminals, and the halting of genocidal propaganda. Our Bosnian and Herzegovinian messages are universal. Instead of divisions, let us build bridges. Instead of conflict, let us affirm dialogue and peace. Instead of untruth, let us spread truth. Ladies and gentlemen, despite all the hardship, injustice, and suffering, I believe in the future of the state of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Let us continue to fight for democratic and civilized society. A democratic and secure Bosnia and Herzegovina is a moral and historical debt owed by Bosnia and Herzegovina and the United Nations to the victims of genocide. Let this monument also serve as a lesson to all of humanity that evil must be stopped in time. Let us build a future on the foundations of truth and justice. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your powerful words. As you all may know, last year, the General Assembly passed Resolution A, Res 78/282, that designated 11th July as the International Day of Reflection and Commemoration of the 1995 genocide in Srebrenica. The resolution also established the Srebrenica Genocide and United Nations Outreach Program. The Flower of Srebrenica Permanent Memorial forms an integral part of the Srebrenica Genocide and United Nations Outreach Program, and this is going to serve to engage the many, many visitors that we have coming here to the United Nations in their reflection and commemoration. The Department of Global Communications and the Office of the Special Advisor on the Prevention of Genocide lead this program collaboratively. And so it is my great pleasure to invite Mr. Chaloka Bayani, Special Advisor of the Secretary General on the Prevention of Genocide, to deliver his remarks.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to join you today as we officially dedicate this lasting memorial to the Srebrenica genocide. A dedication to those who lost their lives during the genocide, to those who survived it, and to the generations of those who remain forever impacted by it. I would like to first extend my gratitude to the Excellencies, the members of the Presidency of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the permanent representative of Bosnia and Herzegovina for all their efforts in supporting the realization of this memorial from an idea to reality. I would also like to thank Under-Secretary General Melissa Fleming and the coordination team of the Srebrenica Outreach Program, comprised of the staff from our two offices, for their hard work in supporting the realization of this important memorial. The Srebrenica Outreach Program is not only a channel for implementing activities related to the commemoration of the Day of Reflection and commemoration of the genocide in Srebrenica. It is equally, importantly, an education platform from which we take the lessons of Srebrenica to the world. But we must wholeheartedly, I would like to express my gratitude to the unbreakable mothers of Srebrenica, led by Ms. Munira Subasic. It was thanks to their tireless efforts that justice was brought to the victims. It is thanks to the unwavering resolve that this memorial was brought in reality, not as a memorial of steel and stone, but as a living act of love and remembrance to their beloved ones who perished in the Srebrenica genocide. Not as a monument to be observed from nearby or from a distance, but as a pledge to the generation of survivors, to their children, to their grandchildren, and not only in Bosnia and Herzegovina, but globally. As a commitment to the promise of never again. Distinguished guests, it has been a long and difficult journey to get here today. But despite all, here we are now, just a few months after marking the 30th anniversary of the Srebrenica genocide, with all the necessary tools to strengthen the memory of the Srebrenica genocide. We have a General Assembly resolution, a dedicated International Day, an outreach program, and this memorial. A memorial that has the shape of a flower, the flower of Srebrenica, blooming hope out of darkness. Some may ask why? Why here? Why now? Because, ladies and gentlemen, our action to prevent genocide is now more important than ever before. In these very days, when hatred and violence are skyrocketing, along with attacks against memory, history, and the multilateral system, when humanity is tested, when atrocities are being perpetrated and broadcasted live, at the same time they are being denied. Isn't this paradoxical? Let me set this straight. Genocidal denial is the last stage of perpetuating this heinous crime. It involves distorting facts, revising history, and questioning the painful experience of the survivors. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, as the mothers can tell you, genocide denial also comes in the form of doubting birth certificates, the victims' mere existence, questioning if their fathers, brothers, sons, husbands even existed. In essence, depriving their lives, the lives of victims, for a second time. First, they were killed, and then the memory of them is erased. This is absolutely unacceptable. They did exist, their memory is with us. And for this reason, the mothers and survivors of the Srebrenica genocide have our gratitude and respect for standing up to facts and history. As will now this memorial, as a symbol of truth, not only here in New York, but in all the other places across the world where it will be replicated in similar manners. The memorial stands as this unyielding yes. Yes, they existed. Yes, they were here. Yes, they were loved. Yes, their lives mattered. And yes, they'll be remembered because yes, we stand with them. Even more so, this memorial here at the UN Garden is now an everlasting reminder of what happens when prevention fails. And when it fails on UN's watch. It is a physical anchor of the promise of never again, a promise that gets too easily forgotten. It compels us, it obliges us to confront the past, not only as the manifestation of a verdict from a courtroom, but as a chilling reality with impact on human beings. It forces us to see the devastating cost of indifference, of hatred, of silence. Ladies and gentlemen, hundreds of people walk these grounds daily, among them delegates from every country in the world. Many of them are here with us today. It is my hope that this memorial will serve not only to remind all of them and all of us of what happened in the past, but also warn us of what happens when we fail to prevent. That today will reinforce our commitment to the prevention of the gravest of crimes, the crime of genocide, and up to upholding the dignity of all victims of this crime without exception. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bayani, for your important and very moving reflections. Friends, Excellencies, in the shadow of unimaginable loss, the Association Mothers of Srebrenica and Zepa have worked tirelessly and with great courage for justice, for truth, and for remembrance. The mothers have carried the weight of history with immense grace, choosing love over vengeance, memory over silence, justice over despair. It is my sincere honor to invite Ms. Munira Subacic, founder and president of the Mothers of Srebrenica and Zepa, to address us.
Prevodi. Možda. Dragi prijatelji, uvažene ekscelencije, dame i gospodo.
Dear friends, honored excellencies, ladies and gentlemen.
Želim sve lijepo da poselamim, da pozdravim.
I want to express my salams and greetings to all of you.
Ja sam Munira Subašić, preživjela sam genocid. U genocidu mi je ubijeno 22 člana moje uže familije.
I'm Munira Subašić. I survived the genocide, and in genocide the 22 members of my close family have been killed.
Među njima je moj muž i moj najmlađi sin kojeg sam najviše na svijetu volila.
Among them was my husband and my youngest son, who was the dearest, most beloved in the world.
Danas ću vam se obratiti i zahvaliti u moje ime i u ime hiljadama majki čija su djeca ubijena u zaštićenoj zoni Srebrenica u Bosni i Hercegovini.
Today I'm here to express my gratitude on behalf of myself and thousands of mothers whose children have been murdered in Srebrenica, in the protected safe area Srebrenica.
Zahvalit ću se prvo predsjedniku predsjedništva gospodinu Bečireviću, gospodinu Komšiću, ministru vanjskih poslova.
I will express the first gratitude to our prime ministers and members of the presidency, Mr. Bečirević and Komšić, and the other members of the present here.
Ambasadoru koji je ovdje pri UN-u Zlatku.
Ambassador who is representing us here at the UN, Zlatko. Kemal.
Arhitekti, našim načelnicima, ministru za boračka pitanja Federacije Bosne i Hercegovine, gospodinu
head of our architect Zlatko, and the head of our department for the veteran issues in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Premijeru kantona i mom pametnom direktoru i našoj Amri, Emiru i Amri.
And our smart director Emir and Amra.
Potpredsjedniku Federacije.
Vice President of the Federation.
Mojoj Duški.
My Duška.
Mome Ali koji je najviše radio na ovome svemu, moramo kazati.
And my Alia who has been working tireless most of all on all of this, I must say.
Posebno želim da se zahvalim ljudima koji su nam omogućili da dolazimo ovdje, da budemo na sastancima sa generalnim sekretarom i da se pokrene 2019. ovdje spomenik.
Before all, I want to express my gratitude to all the people who had supported all of our efforts and all our traveling here, and who made it possible to come and take all those meetings with the Secretary General when all this had been initiated in 2019.
Esadu Krčiću.
To Esad Krčić.
Agama, dvojici Aga.
To
Smaji, Dini.
Smajo, Dina.
Mirsad. Sad, ako budem nekoga zaboravila, nek mi ne zamjeri.
If I forget something, please do not take it to heart.
Našoj Đuliji, njenoj sestričnoj, koja je prva uradila projekat za ovaj spomenik ovdje.
To our Jula and her niece who had first initiated the design for this project.
Senad. Islamskoj zajednici u Bosni i Hercegovini.
Islamic community of Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Vajdu, mufti iz Tuzle.
our race, and my Wahid Mufti from Tuzla.
A najviše će Boga mi zafaliti Muratu Tahiroviću, Kadi Hotić, Muniri Subači, Šajdi Ajši, Hađi Mešić, koji su 2019. od generalnog sekretara tražili da ovaj spomenik bude ovdje.
And before all, I would like to thank to Kada Hotić, Mun Tahirović, and Munira Subasić, and all the others who had since 2019 asked from Secretary General to place this monument
Ovaj
here.
spomenik će govoriti o prošlosti, o onome što su naša djeca nevino ubijena pod zaštitom, pod zastavom Ujedinjenih nacija.
This monument will remark on the past that commemorates the fact that our children had been innocently slaughtered under the protection of United Nations forces.
A bit će opomena za budućnost.
And it will be warning for the future.
Bijela boja je nevinost, jer su naša djeca nevino ubijena.
And the white color was to mark the innocence, for our children had been murdered innocent.
Zelena boja ima dva značenja. Prvo, kad muslimani umru, pokrivaju se zelenom čohom.
And the green color has two meanings. First one is when the Muslim is deceased, passes away, they're covered with the green felt.
A zelena boja je simbol života. Sve što je zeleno, trava, lišće, znači živi.
Green color symbolizes life. It marks everything that is living, grass, trees, and everything other that lives.
I naše bi djeca volila da su živa.
Our children would love to be alive.
Ali su naša djeca ubijena samo zato što se zvali drugčije, drugačije i što su bili muslimani.
But our children were murdered just because they bore a different name, they were called differently, and because they were Muslims.
Evo, hvala Bogu, ovaj cvijet govori da nas nisu mogli pobiti, da nas nisu mogli uništiti, ima nas i bit će nas.
This flower prays to God. This flower signifies the fact that we could not have been murdered, that we had been, we here are, and there will be more of us.
30 godina se mi majke borimo za istinu, tražimo pravdu, da pronađemo kosti naše djece i da zločinci izađu pred lice pravde.
For 30 years us mothers are fighting for the remains of our children, the bones of our children to be found, and that the criminals, perpetrators face the justice.
Odgojili smo našu djecu bez mržnje, bez osvete i to je najveći ponos jedne majke Bošnjakinje.
And we raised our children without the vengeance, without hate, and that is the greatest pride of Mother Bosnia.
Umjesto mržnje i osvete naša su djeca doktori, inženjeri, profesori, govore nekoliko stranih jezika, kako u Bosni, tako u cijelom svijetu. Gdje sam god išla, sretala sam naše Podrinjce, Bosance, Hercegovce i bila ponosna na njih.
Wherever I went, our children have been raised to become, instead of hate, they became doctors, engineers, professors, where they speak several languages. And wherever I went and met our people from Podrinja area, they were pride of our people.
Zato s ovoga mjesta pozivam sve dobre ljude da se borimo protiv mržnje, protiv nepravde, protiv ubijanja.
That's why I call all people of goodwill to fight against hate, to fight against injustice, and to fight against slaughter, murder.
A posebno sve majke svijeta, jer majka je majka bez obzira kako se zvala, kome je pripadala. Zato, drage moje majke, učimo djecu da vole i da budu voljeni.
And especially all the mothers of the world, because wherever, regardless of the language, of color, race, every mother is a mother, and that's why we teach our children to love and cherish.
Želim samo da kažem da smo sa ovim cvijetom
And I just want to say that with this flower,
pobjedili i svjetsku i domaću politiku.
We conquered both global and domestic politics.
Politiku onu koji negiraju genocid, politiku onu koji veličaju ratne zločince
The politics of those who deny genocide and politics of those who glorify war criminals.
A pozivam Evropu i svijet da uče od nas majke iz Srebrenice da kroz istinu grade pravdu za sve ljude svijeta.
And I call upon Europe to, through us, mothers of Srebrenica, to teach a world about the justice and right.
Niko ne može da kaže na ovom svijetu da je religija razlog ubijanja, nepoštovanja i da se razdvajaju ljudi. Religija je samo nasledstvo koje se čovjek rodi, on nju nasledi.
Nobody can say that religion is a cause for calling on a death and murder. The religion is the only reason for people to like and support each other.
Zato pozivam sve ljude, razlike su dobre, podjele nisu. Nemojmo se dijeliti na ove i one.
That's why I call all people. Differences are not the reason for division. Do not separate each other to these and those.
Dijelimo se na dobre i loše.
Let's split to good and bad ones.
Koji su dobri da budu još bolji i koji su loši da budu dobri.
Those who are good to become even better among our midst, and those who are bad to improve.
Hvala vam što ste me slušali. Ovaj cvijet je
Thank you for listening to me. This flower,
moju dušu zadovoljio.
This flower especially had satisfied my soul.
A sad pozivam ljude u Njujorku, naše ljude, moje ljude, sve ljude i dobre volje i ne razdvajam.
And I call upon all people, our people, other people, all the people in New York, and all the people of goodwill without distinction or division.
Da čuvaju ovaj cvijet, ostavljam im na amanet.
To preserve this flower, cherish it as I leave it to you as amanet.
Jer ovaj je cvijet naša djeca.
Because this endowment, this flower is our children.
A mi majke nemamo dva života da jedan trošimo, a da drugi čuvamo cvijet.
And we mothers don't have two lives, for one to live and the other to protect and cherish this flower.
I ovaj cvijet pripada svim Bosancima, Hercegovcima i svim ljudima, dobrim ljudima, a ima, hvala dragom Allahu, dobri ljudi. Još jednom se zahvaljujem generalnom sekretaru, malo je dao svjetlost u ENA i mislim
And this flower belongs to all the people and everybody, all the Bosnian Herzegovinians and all the people, and especially want to express my thanks to the Secretary General of the UN,
našu Aminu,
now Armina,
i sve drugi njihovi ljude koji rade ovdje i koji su donijeli ovu pravdu, jedan dio male pravde. A mislim da UN mora i treba da zna za ono što se dešavalo 95. godine i ne smiju to zaboraviti, samo mogu naučiti.
And all the others who secured the justice and the just things, and because what happened in 1995 is something that cannot be forgotten and has to be learned as a lesson.
Hvala vam još jednom, zdravi i živi bili.
Thank you once again and stay well and healthy.
Thank you, Ms. Subacic, for your very heartfelt words and to letting us know that this flower is in your soul. You remind us that memory must guide us towards justice and peace. I also extend my gratitude to the interpreter, Ms. Milena Pihura-Shiu. Where is she? Thank you very much. And guests, now it's time for the ribbon cutting ceremony, and I'd like to invite the Deputy Secretary General, Ms. Amina Mohammed, His Excellency, Mr. Denis Becivovic, Member of the Presidency of Bosnia and Herzegovina, His Excellency, Mr. Zeljko Komšić, Chairman of the Presidency, Bosnia and Herzegovina, His Excellency, Mr. Elmedin Konakovic, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Bosnia and Herzegovina, His Excellency, Mr. Slatko Lagumjiha, Permanent Representative of Bosnia and Herzegovina of the United Nations, Mr. Chaloka Bejani, Special Advisor of the Secretary General for the Prevention of Genocide, and Ms. Marina Zubasic, founder and president of the Association of Mothers of Srebrenica and Zepa, for the ribbon cutting ceremony. Please.
Excuse me, everybody in the front, please go down.
No, move, because you can see. Sorry. Sir.
All right, people in the front row, please sit down. Can you bring down your camera, please?
Sir. Take that one.
Bring it down.
Thank you all. Excellencies, esteemed guests, dear friends and colleagues. Thank you so much for coming here today. The Flower of Srebrenica Memorial is really a symbol of our commitment to work for a future free from hatred. May it speak to all of us who walk these grounds, affirming the enduring values of truth, justice, and humanity, and may it strengthen our resolve to confront denial and uphold human rights, and to ensure that the memory and history guide our action for a more peaceful world. So now I would like to end this ceremony, and I'd ask the Excellencies to please, Amina, you may also depart, and if everybody could take their seats while our distinguished guests to depart. Thank you very much. So to everyone else, you're welcome to stay here until 2 p.m. Those who are not UN staff, please explore. You're welcome to take pictures next to the monument. But at 2 p.m. we would kindly ask you to depart from the lawn, and our security officers will guide you. Thank you once again.
Good, how are you?